We need to be a voice for everyone in the community.
These kind of initiatives can only be as effective as we, as part of the community, make them, right?
So I feel that I have a responsibility to be that role model for my own children, but to also encourage other parents and adults to be that role model for their children as well.
If you remember, we told you that the Dubai Fitness Challenge is a special platform where a lot of communities that build the Dubai society, so to say, come together, be active, move, and create that bond that we told you about in the last episode. The Dubai Fitness Challenge started in 2017 as a strategic initiative announced by the government to keep people moving. Now, similar to the Innovation Month, if you remember, which we talked about in last episode, this has become the month for health, and it has been taken over by the entire population. One special gem uses this platform for special type of awareness that we think you should be knowing of. We're looking forward for this episode. Welcome to Hidden Gems UAE. Our guest today is very much used to challenges. Being born with one arm and having gone through a lot of different accidents in her young life, Jessica Smith has put in her mind to achieve extraordinary things. In fact, she was so ambitious in her life that she became part of the Paralympic team representing her country, Australia, 7 times in a row. After she retired, Jessica still wanted to have the activity that she's being so dedicated to in the center of her life and combine it with all the lessons that she's been learning throughout her life and create awareness programs for different ages and different countries about what it means to achieve special things with special challenges. Jessica today uses the 30-30 challenge to create a small community of runners and show them that they can actually achieve much more than they think they can and make movement and sports part of their life. Today we'll have the opportunity to discover this hidden gem of UAE and find out about her motivation behind all the multifaceted initiatives that she is running here in Dubai. Thank you very much for having time. I know you're very, very busy, especially during the times that you're coaching your group here. We're very excited to hear your story and would love to start maybe right at the beginnings, right?
Sure.
Where does that all this drive and energy come from that got you all the way to where all your achievements in sports?
Well, I was born missing my left arm, and when I was a child, I was trying to sort of understand my identity. I was sort of born into a world where I was told because of my disability, I wasn't good enough, smart enough, strong enough, pretty enough. And so I was trying to find a way that I could showcase to the world what I was capable of, rather than being limited by the assumptions of others. And for me, the most obvious way to do that was through movement and physical exercise. And growing up in Australia, it's a very sporting nation. And so my parents encouraged me to play all sorts of sports. I have 3 younger brothers. They taught me how to climb trees, kick the football, ride a skateboard. And that gave me this sense of exhilaration and freedom because I was able to prove that even though I only had one arm, there were things that I could do. Perhaps I had to find my own way of doing it and I had to adapt and learn how to do that, but it didn't have to be a limitation. And for me, there was excitement in that. And sport gave me a platform to be able to tell my story in a different way. And so, as a young child, I played all sorts of sports, but I fell in love with the sport of swimming. And I remember competing at my first school swimming event when I was just 10. And I won the 50 meters freestyle. I beat all the girls and boys with 2 hands. And for the first time in my life, that's when I felt as though I was being acknowledged for what I could do. And when you achieve something that other people say can't be done, it is quite exhilarating and it is exciting. And so I wanted to hang on to that feeling for as long as I could. And swimming gave me the opportunity to do that. And so I told my mum and dad, I want to swim. And at the time, I didn't know that there were races for athletes with a disability. I wasn't aware of the Paralympic Games.
Yes.
I just knew that swimming made me feel amazing. And so that was how it sort of started. And, you know, I excelled very quickly. At the age of 13, I was selected onto my first Australian swimming team. And I competed for Australia for just shy of a decade. You know, I got to travel the world, winning medals, breaking records, wearing the green and gold colours very proudly. And again, it gave me an opportunity to also meet like-minded people and to sort of encapsulate that energy that so many other people have as well, you know, and everybody's able to feed off that energy from one another. And so that's why sport has been so special to me and why I want to extend that experience to as many other people as possible, because it's not just the physical, it's the emotional and the mental benefits as well. And so when you can connect those things, we all benefit and everybody benefits.
Absolutely. I think a little bit of that we could witness also today morning with your little group.
Yes.
People basically bringing their families along and sharing that enthusiasm that actually comes up with every step that they make during their run.
Absolutely, you know, and it's a challenge. And, you know, part of the Dubai 30-30 Fitness Challenge is we're wanting to push ourselves just that little bit further. It doesn't have to be extreme, but it's understanding what our capabilities are and then supporting each other to push them just a little bit further.
Exactly.
And as parents and as adults, we are the role models for our children.
Absolutely.
When they see us living an active lifestyle, it has a flow-on effect. And so I feel that I have a responsibility to be that role model for my own children, but to also encourage other parents and adults to be that role model for their children as well. And so it's wonderful to see so many families taking part. And, you know, that first step is sometimes the hardest, but this is what we're trying to do, is just to encourage people to take that first step, and then we'll be together for the next step after that and the step after that.
Exactly. And that actually shows the, let's say, motivation that you felt after you retired from your active time. Now you have so many different initiatives going on, Jessica. It's incredible, for different ages, starting from the children books that you're writing all the way to these kind of activities, your United Nations activities, all these multifaceted activities and initiatives that you have. Which one is actually the closest to your heart?
That's a really good question. I guess for me, everything falls under the umbrella of accessibility and inclusion. So everything I do, it sort of comes from that as the core and foundation. But for me, it's the children and it's that next younger generation. And how can I articulate these really important messages in a way that's fun and engaging for young kids? So you mentioned, you know, the children's books, which is really important. But when I go into schools and I'm able to show them what I can do, it allows them to shift their own perspective and give a different understanding of perhaps what they have understood about disability or difference in any way you want to look at it. And I see the instant response from the kids, and they're so excited when they see me tie my shoelaces, for example. And in doing that, my message is that everyone can do the things in life that might seem challenging. You just have to find your way of doing it. And sometimes that's going to look different to your friends and family. But if you're still able to achieve the end goal, then it doesn't matter how you've reached it. And I think that, you know, if being able to instill this message in young children, and certainly my own children, that's certainly where I get the most, I guess, satisfaction and gratification. Because then what's so, I guess, fulfilling for me is the parents that then contacts me saying that their children have gone home and shared that message with them, you know, and I think we can learn so much from the younger generation. And so I feel that this is where the work that I'm doing matters most.
I agree. I think working with kids is just gives you that unfiltered feedback.
Yes,
right?
absolutely. Yes.
So,
yes.
and you can see literally the excitement in their faces and the aha effect, which actually they carry for a very, very long time with them, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and I think for anyone, you know, when I go into the school setting, you know, it can be different to see somebody who lives with a disability, you know, a physical, obvious, visible disability like mine. It can be, you know, striking and alarming for some people, and I completely understand that. But my role and responsibility is to help alleviate some of that fear and stigma. And the best way I can do that is by showing up and sharing my story, but in that journey for me as well, it was also realizing that it's not just about me and my story. It's about everybody else and theirs, because there's so many other people who live with a difference or a disability that we can't see.
Yes.
And we need to be a voice for everyone in the community. And I think children, as you said, they don't have that filter, but that's also what's so beautiful. We need to encourage our children to ask questions and to feel comfortable in the uncomfortable. But as adults and parents, our responsibility is to teach them kindness and respect and empathy, so that they feel comfortable to ask those questions. I think for a lot of us as adults, we've developed this fear. We're going to say the wrong thing. We're going to offend somebody. And in doing that, the conversation has stopped.
Yes.
And when the conversation stops, the progress stops.
Yes.
And so for children, I think a lot of parents ask, what do I do when my child says that lady only has one arm? Instead of saying shh and sort of dragging your child away, the best thing we can do is just validate and acknowledge what your child has seen or observed. Yes, that lady does only have one hand. We don't need to explain it. We don't need to justify it. We just need to allow for our children to be validated for what they see. When we tell them to shush, or we'll talk about it later, it sends this message that something's wrong.
Something's wrong, exactly.
And there's nothing wrong.
Yes.
And therefore, anytime a child might experience a situation where they feel like they're the different one, they're automatically going to default to, well, there must be something wrong with me. And there's not, and so that's why the work with the kids is so important and so paramount. But, I need allies in the rest of the community to sort of help with that messaging. But I enjoy it.
And that brings us actually to the topic. Platforms such as the 30/30 or Dubai basically Fitness Challenge is a very unique platform to combine activities, sports, and visions with exactly those values of inclusion in a very fun way, isn't it?
Absolutely, and I think that we should be so grateful to the leadership here in Dubai, because this is such an amazing initiative, and this doesn't happen anywhere else around the world.
Exactly.
So we have to be able to embrace it and come together, because this is exactly as you said, it's a unique platform for us to showcase the importance of movement, the importance of prioritizing our health and our well-being.
Yes.
And to be inclusive, regardless of age or ability, and the 30/30 Dubai Fitness Challenge is such a wonderful opportunity for us to do that. So, for me to be able to have these community runs throughout the Fitness Challenge, and for me to collaborate, with other organizations here, such as ASICS, it's been amazing to see how that has grown within the platform of the 30/30 Challenge. So, but you have to be active in that. You have to try and find the ways that you, for me in particular, can add value to the initiative that's already existing, and I think that's what people have to understand, that this sort of just didn't happen. It was me trying to figure out how can I work with what's already here to add something a little bit more and to focus on that community aspect.
Exactly. I mean, these kind of initiatives can only be as effective as we, as part of the community, make them, right? Because it's not let's say, a must. It has a lot to do with how we deal with these opportunities.
Absolutely. And you can see, I've been in Dubai now for 6 years, and the Fitness Challenge is getting bigger and bigger every year. And I think that's a credit to the people, everyone wanting to be involved. You see just around us here today, there are so many people. And I think that has come about because of the people wanting to make it something that they enjoy. Inviting your family and friends and people who might be traveling and visiting. I mean, this is such an incredible time to be here in Dubai.
Absolutely.
But the people make it. And I think that every year as it gets bigger and bigger, we see that that's why.
Absolutely. And bonds are being made, and you can meet people which you usually maybe don't have the opportunity. Like last year, you were running along His Highness, right?
I was. I had the incredible opportunity to run alongside Sheikh Hamdan, and he was the one who initiated the Dubai Fitness Challenge.
Exactly.
And again, that sort of leadership is something that, I'm so grateful for living here in Dubai, because imagine having leadership that literally want to prioritize the health and well-being of the people. You have the leadership, and we all have to come together now. So my way of showing my gratitude is to be as involved as I can, and to encourage everyone else in the community and to pay it forward, and that's what we're seeing with more and more people taking part every year.
So I suggest this is the reason why you've chosen actually Dubai as the center point of your life and driving everything from here.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm grateful that I've been able to call Dubai home for the last 6 years. I have 3 young children. My husband and I work here. It's safe, it's wholesome, and you choose how you want to live in Dubai.
Exactly.
And I think that that's a really important message, is that for us, it's about family.
Yes.
It's about community. And, the simple parts of life which exist here in Dubai in the most beautiful way. But I try my hardest to make sure that that's what my children are experiencing, and they are. And I think that that's such a credit to the Dubai community and,
Yes.
the UAE as a whole. But it's important that our family morals and values are paramount in everything that we do. And so that's a responsibility, obviously, of my husband and I. But Dubai gives us the space and the safety to do that.
Absolutely. I can't add more to that, being father myself. I just want to say I'm extremely proud of everything that you're doing. And, I support you as in any initiatives that you start and you let us be part of.
Thank you.
And keep up the great work.
Thank
and
you
thanks
so
for
much.
having time
My
for
pleasure,
us.
always. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Like in any other society, we here in Dubai have obviously our own challenges that we need to create awareness around, like the situation of people with determination, like inclusion, like the same participation of all minorities in a society. Platforms such as the Dubai Fitness Challenge can only be as effective as people with their impact-driven mindset use those platforms to establish their own private initiatives to address these challenges. I hope you liked this episode with our special guest Jessica. I enjoyed it very much, and if you have any comments or know anybody at the same caliber doing impactful projects in UAE, please leave a comment and do not forget to subscribe, and we're looking forward to see you in our next episode.